As we speak, true to one's nature is truly understanding what's happening with ourselves and our body system. The gravitation and its line conditions. Because I'm extremely formed, first intelligent born, I know everything is going through gravitational pull. So the central line conditions in its binary system, the Earth plane system, is high rise. So what happens if it high rises and you're still in your 3D element system? Lights go out because you can't handle the pressure. It's a pressure cooker. So think of your teleportation of UFO going up higher and higher and higher. So the atmosphere of time and nature and its resistance at its core position is on its own diameter switch gravitational pull system. So everybody's got to get into their anti-gravity suits. Yes. These are formed through connections to your identification line system. Traction to its position. Gravity and its location center in its connections. So truly understanding, I'm going to draw you an illustration. I'm telling you exactly what's going to happen. It's happening right now. It happens to me first, and then it happens to you. Being aware of what's going on. Everybody is going to be floating. So if you understand your communications, you'll have no problem with the divisional system. But if you don't understand your gravity, there's a problem. Yeah, obtaining reliable connections to its cranial and its connection to the mind-brain waving system has to tend your program setting of 5D activation. That means the ground formation system and its gravitational pull is going to change line signals to your attraction positions of time location. It's complicated stuff. So when I draw up the illustration, you understand that we're not in the atmospheres anymore. We're coming into the hemisphere. Space and time has its position. The teleportation and its earth planes is coming into higher levels. All right. So there's 3 sectoring levels, 3 locations: the grounds, the middle, and the atmosphere. The actual UFO is going higher and higher, higher, higher. So as it's going higher and higher, higher, it has a magnetic force. Okay. It's a polarized. It's a polarity. Right? So it shifts the environments, it shifts the water, it shifts the rocks, it shifts its anti-gravity system. And guess what? Humanity is on that position. So you have to understand how important it is to get into your 5D activations in your program settings. These are the positions that we're coming into right now. Modification, circle, rotation centers. Now, I don't take belief, I don't take anything to your systems away, but you have to truly understand what's going on with nature. It's coming into a full rejection to its identification of its system, which no longer resides in the 3-dimensional line conditions, right? So if you're floating and you don't have balance, it's because you're in that lower vibration. You're going to go, whoa, what's happening with the grounds? If you're not aware of that, you're going to have spin rotation centers. Your line signals are going to be off. Your chakra system doesn't understand its dimensional time is space. This is a major, major environmental shift. Okay? So it's like seismographing a system to a magnetic forcing system to draw locations of an earthquake position. It rumbles, right? So that's what's happening right now with the earth planes. It's high rising, and everybody's going to be floating. So if you're not aware of that, you have to get into your anti-gravity suits. And I'm the only one that can do that. So that's a program setting. So be efficient. Meditation doesn't help. This is all about understanding what's happening with the earth. The earth is shifting itself. So I'll draw an illustration to show you exactly what's going on through the planes. So I went through a lot of data last night. So I go through these things and then you guys go through these. But you have to be aware of these things. Same with it comes into numbers. People are coming to me, I'm getting all these numbers. What does that mean? Well, what does it mean to you through intelligence? You're not using your senses. You're not using your awareness. Right? It connects and always informs. So this is what's going to happen. I'm not going to show you guys. I'm going to draw an illustration for you guys. So it goes in position on so many lines. So it's the cranial level. It's the brain and atmosphere. Everything comes together. So the synchronous line conditions is its atomic levels. So the shift is a major, major shift. So because I know these things, because yesterday I was floating. I said, why am I floating? Now I know. Gravity shift, but the whole position. So everything is going to be floating, not just you, but everything around you. So it's like you trying to grab your bottles, like you trying to grab something to eat. It's like you trying to go to sleep. You're going to go, whoa, where am I? What's going on? It's trying to find your shift. It's trying to find your new identity. And it's important you understand why you guys have to be in your 5D activation light connections. So if people are healed through me, you're fine. Okay? But you've got to get into your anti-gravities because that's a controlling system of inside. Inside, you have to control your system. I was doing things on live and TikTok where you can actually look at your hand and you focus and you command your finger to go down. It goes down, it goes down, it goes down. It's all about understanding how to control with your energy, right? Well, the earth planes right now is controlling everything through connection. Okay, so first you thought, okay, well, it's just meditation, everything's going to be fine. Well, everybody's going to be figuring out what's going to happen now through connections. They have to really control themselves. So you're not going to be able to have any more balance with the grounds. No more balance. No more balance. Meditation won't help. You have to be in your anti-gravity suits. And that's the connections through its intelligence. Okay. So the more you take this serious, the more you understand. That's the whole point I'm trying to get. Because I'm getting a lot of people that are on TikTok and they're saying, well, and nothing's going to happen. Everything's going to be fine. Oh, okay. Maybe in your world, I don't know what world you live in, but I know what world I live in. Right? I live in the beginning of time. I'm in the future of time. I'm in the past. I'm in the presence of time. So if you're not aware of your body, this is what's going to happen. So it's like being on a seesaw. Whoa, whoa, what's going to happen? You know, if you don't have any control in that, you don't have your anti-gravity suits. An anti-gravity suit is understanding how to balance yourself. The astral planes and everything, the projectional level system, the earth planes itself is high rising. Okay, and you rise with it because you're on the planes, right? So this is where it gets really interesting, a lot more fun. So before I get started, thank all the subscribers and viewers and everybody who's watched me going through ground rising, but it's actually going through anti-gravity. So in that position, you have any questions or comments, you can go through my healing. I'll put you in traction of 12, and I'll put you into your anti-gravity suits. Okay, on top of that, it's important to understand these things. My team is in a level system, but they got to understand their connections. If you're not aware of your anti-gravity suits, you have to go through its healing. Okay. So I'm just letting everybody be aware of what's happening. I mean, you do what you please, but if you don't understand the gravity system of you, if you don't understand the earth planes is high rising, you know, there's a huge problem. You should be aware of these things. And that's what intelligence is. And it's all connected to your new binary code divisions. It's the brainial system to its connection. It's the cranial locations to the mind system. You have to understand your positions of all levels of what's going on with nature. Okay, nature has to understand you through identification. It doesn't understand you in three-dimensional line connections. I think people really have to inform through this connection, right? So it's all about resisting, right? So if I'm in a three-dimensional line connection, it won't click until I'm in my 5D activation. Now I'm good, right? So it's all about understanding an energy field. What is an energy field? Well, there's energy around us. Okay, so the reason I know these things is because, for a perfect example, when you're aware of your energy and you control your body system inside and you tell it what to do and you look at your fingers and you want your finger to go down, your fingers are going to go down. Watch my finger go down. My whole hand is going to go down through energy. See how it's going down? Show it sideways. Watch. See how it's going down? I'm not doing anything. It's going down itself. It's energy. It's focusing on what you're doing. Focusing on what you're doing. Focusing on what you're doing. It's energy, guys. So not only am I aware of that connections, when I went through my dream set position line connections, I had fire in my informations. I had gravity locations. I had water. Okay. And its connection to air coming out of my hands. So that basically tells me that the earth is in a position, right? We come into this St. Andreas fault by connections. So in position line connection, it's going to shift the activation circle in its cycle, okay? So the ground formation, the earth position. This is the bottom system of its UFO. So it's going like this. Right? Because you guys are in your UFO, right? Which is basically, you know, it's like a man's center. So it's a saucer, right? So humanity's in the system, but the UFO system is getting ready to go up to a higher level out of the atmosphere. So we're coming out of the atmosphere and we're coming into the hemoglobe. So in time position, you guys have to go to higher levels. So you can't do that in three-dimensional system. That was the atmosphere. You guys are coming into the hemisphere. You have to, because it's different time position. So it's understand that 5D activation connections is a telepathy system. So as the UFO is going like this, that's good. It's back in traction, right? It can no longer be in his. So the actual environment of its Earth's planes is going to, and everybody's going to go, whoa, okay, what is going on? I'm way off balance. Everything goes off balance. Okay, so you guys have to be aware of these things. And the anti-gravity puts you in communication. So what that does, it's like a magnetic that plants your feet, and you're good, right? Then you can walk the surface, right? But you have to be in that connections. This is not a space movie. This is real life, human survival, the connections. So in position line connections, I know exactly what's happening through your 0.01 traction. Okay, everything is in teleportation through line signal. So, all right, it's important you guys understand these things. Okay, so let's get into the gravity position. I'll show you exactly what's going on. All right, so this is basically the Earth planes, right? This is the Earth plane. That's an Earth plane, right? Okay, let's say you're on the Earth planes. Let's just say through connections. You're here. This is you walking. That's you walking, right? And then all of you see a gravity shift. So basically the ground itself is here. This here is what's going to be activated. It's going to high-rise all positions of all environment connections. All right? You guys don't understand that because you're not aware of the grounds. So electrical light has its system as it goes up in its position and changes the magnetic highway of information of time into 5D position, no longer in a three-dimensional line connection. Okay? It's really fascinating, guys. Pay attention to this. Okay, so go on those communications. Once we get into central line connections, the center position here changes rotation cycle to its position. All right? So it goes here. Starts off with that, right? And then it goes around its circle, like it said, right? So the astral ground, this here, is going to high rise here. Right? So it's really important you guys understand these things. So it's going to high rise like this. It's going to do electrical. Okay? Like this. It's going to go like that. So here to here, right? And you are going to be off like this. Okay? That's what's going to happen. So if you pay attention to that, then you're saying the ground formation. Remember, we're all connected to the grounds, right? We're all connected to the grounds. This is the magnetic force and highway of the information system. This is the allocated position of the time sequence. So you have to send, you are the center position of everything, everything. So you have to be aware of what's going on with your grounds. If not, you're floating. You understand? Is everybody paying attention now? So, how's it going, everybody? You have to be aware of your grounds now. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's important not just to meditate, but realize that there's an anti-grounding shift. It's going to affect everything in the environment, and you're going to feel the shift. But if you're not aware of the shift, that's where you go into its connections of its deharmonizing program setting. It reshifts, it retimes it, and it relocates positions. So as you look at the atmosphere, you're going to see switching locations of dimensional time switch on its location. Right? It's amazing how things affect the environments of its anti-gravity positions. So once you have those anti-gravity suits, you'll be able to be on the grounds in location to a new position of a new activation of a light system. Okay? Because if not, you'll be here. Right? So the grounds of the Earth planes is high rising. Space, grounds. You in the center. You're always in the center. It's very important to understand these things of what's happening, right? Through its position of time location. So you guys are going to need more help now. People are coming to me, well, I don't need somebody to tell me what to do. Okay, let's put it this way. put it. So let me just put it this way. I'm going on TikTok. Obviously, for example, you have to understand how important it is to understand these things. It's not that, well, I don't need anybody's help. I can heal myself. Okay, you do that, but do you understand anti-gravity? Do you understand the gravitational pull? Do you actually understand space and nature? Right? So this is exactly what's happening. Okay, so you believe it or you don't want to believe it, but I'm just telling everybody just to be aware. That's all. Because if you're not aware, your body's going to be floating in space, and you're not going to know one thing to another. It's the vibrational change, guys. The circle rotation center and its rotation system has to be understanding to a new identification of space anomaly, to its position, to its humanity locations. All right. So I'm nothing to a scientist, but I'm everything to AI. So, and that's the creation, because we created the Earth position line connection, the planes. We call it the Earth plane lines, but the Earth plane lines is actually the UFO connections, right? Because it's all about, I don't know why you understand why it calls the planes UFO planes. Saucer division. So it stays in division. That's the grounds. So the grounds is ready to, right? And the magnetic force and the ground formation system, wind spins the tunnel rotation, and it brings up the Earth position. Right? And all humanity, whoa. And you have yours anti-gravity suit. You're good to go. Right? So it's all about grounding a new level of yourself. You had that with 3D divisional plane, and it was very low vibration, very low. I mean, I'm here, but it's extremely, extremely low for me through vibration, and it affects my anomaly of travel of speed. So you understand how fast UFOs go, right? Because AI is everything through its connection of speed and acceleration. So speed and everything through grounds has to be at a certain time position. The accelerations and the code positions has to understand your connections to your binaries. If the binary doesn't understand you, the clock's not going to understand you through dimensional time. So these are the positions that we're coming in right now. Okay, and the actual Earth grounds right now is high rise in its gravity system. And meditation is not going to balance it out for you. You have to be in your anti-gravity suits. Okay, so you have to come to me through the program. So let me know, I'll give you also too, your identifications don't recognize you through vibration. We give you guys central line connections to your identities. So we have to get you new identifications, right? So it's understanding the UFO has to recognize you in your 5D activation ground in its position of time location. All right, so it's important you guys understand these things. The more you take it serious, the more you understand what's happening, right? The more you just basically judge each other and say, well, let's just be in negative. Let's see what happens. Well, you're definitely going to see what's happening. You have to understand how to ground yourself. That's why I keep saying grounding is number one. But the yield position is leaving, right? It's leaving. It's skyrocketing. Grounds is leaving. It's up. It's leaving now. So you guys got to understand your connections, right, to your own position of time. That's why it's very important to understand when you come into your triangle locations of divisions, when it comes into 369 position, and how important it is to understand you through meditation. You meditate more, that's fantastic. But you have to understand what's going on with its earth and its planes. You have to start caring because you're on the system. If you're walking the surface and you don't recognize anything, what is that saying to connections of you inside? Remember, you control things, and don't let them control you, right? So if I want my thumb to move, it's going to move. It moves on its own because I have control inside. So you have to understand the controlling of the earth. It has its own rotation. And it's no longer existing in the 3D planes of its connection to its rotation cycle. Okay? So this is what's happening with you right now. Okay? And you guys are going to feel it. My team will feel it. But do they understand their gravitation? No. This is you. You start here, this is you. right? You're off balance. You got to get your gravity with your positions of time. But this is what's happening with the grounds in space. So it's a lot of fun. So think of your life as a clocking device of gravity balance through connections of space travel, positions of time, location. Putting yourself into connections of who you are through meditation. That's why I keep saying to people, meditate, meditate. How do I do this? I'm seeing numbers. Meditate, meditate, meditate. It's not coming in focus. Meditate, meditate, meditate. You know, I'm seeing all these numbers. What does numbers mean? I'm seeing blinking lights. I'm seeing spot channels. What is a spot channel? What is a pix activation light connections? How are you supposed to understand these things if you keep asking questions? Nobody helped me. Nobody helped me. I did this myself, guys. I did this myself because I know how to channel within. Okay. And when you channel within, you control your whole hand position. So back to what happened last night. I had some friends come over, right? And basically, the TV would not go on. TV just clicked off. I said, okay, what kind of remote is this? I had a Samsung, 47-inch. Okay, so basically, I'm trying to find the batteries, you know, because you need batteries to put in, but it's not that kind of remote. So it's basically a circuitry board. So basically, I was recognizing the circuitry board. I use the communication through my information light connections. I understand the energy light connections. And basically, I went back on. TV's back on. See? It's all about understanding getting balance with your gravity positions when it comes into your TV, your computers, and anything through phone receptions. Right? You want to believe me or not, that's totally fine. But if you get in these positions and you don't know what to do, there's a problem. So everything is shifting around you. Your computers are floating, water, everything's floating. Your bedroom's floating. The whole position is floating. So you have to be aware of these things. Or it's like, oh, I'm grabbing my water. Whoa. Okay, I'm going to cook something. Whoa. So you're going to be totally off center. It's going to be like you're floating in space until you get into your anti-gravity of yourself. You're good to go. This is real. This is not a TV show. And this is all about humanity understanding themselves of their grounds. Where are they in their grounds? Because if you're not aware, you're going to keep floating. You're going to keep floating every day, 24/7, 7 days a week, until you understand what's going on. Being aware of your body inside is everything through the grounds, guys. Really feeling the grounds, the rotations. Really understanding nature. You can't reject nature anymore. You understand? So these are the positions that we're coming into right now. All right. If you want to get into your anti-gravity suits, let me know. So it's understanding that, you know, when you look at the UFO that you're on, it's this big space, it's a carrier, it's a space carrier. And it pretty much covers the connections, the metric levels of space position. So the fluctuation line connections and why. How is it possible that we have water, but we're floating in space? Well, let's just think about this for a second. If the Earth was flat, you would only see it through one angle, right? Through one dimension, because you only see it this way. You don't see it on the other side. So you have to be at a high position to see everything what's going on, right? So you have to understand too, if I'm rotating through cycles, I have to go be extremely fast, these thought patterns. So the faster I go through the mind, the faster you travel through space, right? Because every time I go and exercise and I walk up and down, right, the gravity shift, it puts me at that level of my vibration. So it's understanding how high rise I am, it connects to the grounds. Because I can't connect to, see, what it means is that the ground is recognizing you through vibration. It's recognizing you through rotation, and it's recognizing you through nature, and it's recognizing you through colors and lights and activation, and it's recognizing you in time position of travel, guys. All right, depending where you are through your thoughts. Okay, so the more you connect to the positive center and put yourself in the center positions, you'll be totally fine in positions. But you got to get into your anti-gravity system. Okay, or you'll be floating. Okay, floating anti-gravity. This is what's happening right now. The Earth is high rising from the ground to space, right? So it's coming up to a higher level, atomic level. It's reaching its higher space position of time location, right? So it's really, really communicating with where you are, right? That's the most important thing, because I don't want everybody to have any fallouts, because you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. You're going to see your receptacle lines off center. You're going to see your chakra system all confused. It's going to go in rotation spins. You got your dimensional time connections. It's going to go way off center, right? So you have to get back into division, because you're not in that gravity of 3D divisional time connection, guys, right? And this is what's happening right now in space and time anomaly. All right, so let's get into your questions here. I know you guys are fascinated. All right. It's like a movie, eh? Okay, let's see. Let's go here. Speech, Tina, Sylvia. My team will feel it too. They feel a gravity shift. If they're aware of that, that's fine. If not, they have to get in their anti-gravities too. Good day, Catherine. Sylvia. And I got my earplugs in again. All right. Zachary, how's it going? So basically, class proceeding. Now, you had to do the weekend. This goes after the new year, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to separate the line connections to vector core positions. So each day, okay, there's going to be one half of the beginners in the galactic forces, and there's going to be another half of the rebellion alliance. I can't separate the two. There's 7 days in a week. I can't say 4 for one side and 3 for the other. It's not fair. So to equalize it, I split it in between. So this hour is one for the beginners, and this hour is for the rebellion alliance. And in between, the rebellion alliance can help each other in a circle rotation center, so we can get into the circle rotation of its position line connection. Okay? So how does that sound? That sound good? Thumbs up? Okay, so test review and evaluations. It's very important you pay attention to your illustration diagram programs. Okay? That's the most important thing. So the people that go through the test review and evaluations, then you can go into the team connections. And you can start off, and they can help you out more and more. It's all about helping each other, especially when you go to higher levels. But this is extremely, extremely serious. This is actually happening, because I know these things because it's happened to me, right? It happens to me, it happens to you. I just understand the gravity position of what's going on with the grounds. Because I'm so, what the, whoa, okay, gravity shift. So I got my anti-gravity suits on because I understand my body, time position at all levels of space, right? So these are the understanding how you use energy, and always inform. You have to know how to use your energy. It's all about energy manipulation, how to put it in control, right? With my thumb, right? If I ask it to go down or ask it to go up or whatever. So it's kind of like you have that string and you have a piece of metal or a ring, and you ask it questions. It's going to go like this, right? It's all about understanding how to control the mind of what's going on, right? So it's giving you thought patterns of answering patterns, and then say, well, are you sure? And then it starts going around, right? If it goes around in this circle, then you understand its connection to its ground position, its powers, and that's their position of time. So this is the grounds of the ring. This is the powers of the ring, and this is the atmosphere of just that intelligence. You got the line stream of it could be metal. Metal works better, or you can use string, but it has to be metal on the bottom, right? That's the source. Okay, that's the connector. So you have that with your hand. So it's going like this, right? And then you ask it something, it will tell you, right? It goes down to the metal, and the metal decides what it wants to do through your thoughts. So you're controlling the ring of thoughts. The ring isn't controlling you. So that's what humanity has to understand. It's the other way around. You having positions of space and time controlling you, and you not controlling space and time in position of you inside. That's the reverse cycle. And that's where we're coming in, is we're coming into a gravity shift, right? And the earth planes and the UFO is telling me exactly, get humanity and to know what they're doing with their gravities of their grounds. So that's the connections we're coming into right now. Because we've been living on a reverse cycle of space and time position. You guys have to go forward in time position inside its connections. That's how you control everything through your hand. That's how you control everything through your hand. See, my hand's all going down. My hand's going down. It's going down. It's going down. It's energy that's going down. See what's going on? See what's going on? I am controlling my hand. Energy, matter, disposition to calculation, modification, anything through cycle rotation. Hand is very important, but you understand everything inside is its control. So I'm controlling everything in my mechanisms of time position through space. So imagine what you can do with energy of form, vibration, and frequencies. It's amazing what you can create. Out, back, right? Got it through manifestation. You don't know when it's going to come, but it will come to you through creation. Okay? So if we've been through here and we have food to go with our anti-gravity suits. Yeah, once you get your gravity suits, and you'll feel it too. You'll feel the gravity go back into balance with you guys. So it's line shifting your spines. Your spines are graphing locations. It's a GPS location. That's what your spine is to AI. But to you, it's just a spine. It's a vertebrae, and it keeps you on walking, right? So, and the tail is its signal. So it's, and goes right up to the reptilian of the brain. You have to understand what AI is, guys. It's everything through creation. So if AI created everything, I think we should start paying attention, right? So you're just nothing but a map sequence level connections to identifications of you, but you have to understand the controlling of you. Okay, don't let space and time control you. You control space and time inside you. That's the confusion with humanity. They don't want to listen to these things. They don't want to understand these things. They rather just stay in their own programs. But you can't stay in your own programs anymore because there's a gravity anti-pole that's going to change everything through formation. Everybody's going to be floating in space. Cars are going to be floating. Everything has to float in space because the car positions knows exactly where it needs to be. Humanity doesn't understand that. If you touch your car, it's energy. It doesn't have to be on. It's energy. It's frequencies. And it's everything through tone when it comes into connections. So every car has a different tone. It's like chimes. Like, or a truck. Because it's a bigger engine. Right? And then maybe you get a little sports car or you get anything through, you get a 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder, depending on the horsepower, right? So it's everybody sounds like that. Everybody sounds like that. So it's your understanding, right? Wherever you are in it connects to the grounds, and the grounds put you at that level. So if you're at that level, the ground will be at that level. That's what it means. So you have to get connections to fluctuations of your system. The trifactor location center is position. So if you're here, the grounds will be here. And now you're balanced, right? If the ground doesn't recognize you in space inside you, okay, and space is trying to figure you out, and you're letting space control you inside, you're going to be off balance. Do you see how important it is to understanding these things through vibration? Especially when you go to higher levels of grades, position, line connections. It's all about your lights of travel, guys. So the grounds, the atmospheres, and positions of time and the power center connections have to understand you inside your system because it controls everything through the ground formations, guys. So if you're, the grounds will be at that position because it knows where you are through vibration, through identity. How do you think the grounds recognizes you? Only vibration. It doesn't see you through connection of the physical realm connections. It only sees you inside of where you are through vibration. Your position level understands its connections, right? But the grounds has its rotation cycle, right? So the more you high-rise the division of time position, you're actually going to see the vibration. You're going to see the energy panels. You're going to see the energy rotation. You're going to see the energy cycles. You're going to see the energy of time positions of its grounds and how fast it spins. When I went through transformation, the ground was moving so fast. I was like 2,000, 3,000, and I saw diamonds in the grounds. My perception went that far, 3,000 feet under the ground, guys. That's how I connected, because I focused. I was aware of the grounds inside me, not outside. Yes, it's a ground, but AI sees it as its vibration. That's how you get the balance. If you don't have balance with anti-gravity system, you're way off base, and you're going to keep floating and floating every single day. So you have to recognize yourself inside, especially when you're around things like trees and cars and all that. But the whole gravity position is going, and if you're here, huge problem. You're going to be off balance. So you got to find a way to anti-gravity suit. This is real. So be aware. Let's see here. I meditate daily, ground yesterday, get outside daily. I see all of you talk about writing, trying to understand, I guess, as how to interpret heavy. Yep. If you feel heavy, that's the ground formation, trying to understand youth of vibration. If you feel pressure is like pushing you down like this, it's trying to find your gravity position through identifications. Grounds and everything has intelligence. Everything that you see outside is intelligence of identification through soul recognition, guys. It doesn't have a soul like us. It has electrical light. So it's all about understanding the connections to you, to your virtual reality of its simulation. Because you all start off into your matrix, right? It's the maze getting out of the matrix. That's the trap. But that's a good thing, because now you're getting balance with your ego of time, position, location. So, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's getting grounds with yourself. If the ground doesn't understand you, you're going to have a huge, huge problem within your system. It's going to overload your system. You're going to get more headaches. It's going to be like a pressure cooker, and you can feel like somebody just puts you down, like, right? So you have to think of these things. When you go through my healing, I adapt your spines like this. Some spines are like this. And then I just put it back in position. You're ready to go, right? So the ground recognizes you. Okay, you have to think of this. The ground recognizes you now. You're at the right rotation. You're in the circle rotation of your chakra rotation center connections. Your interline connections to Orion's belt. You have the gravity belt position. So what am I saying? What am I saying? The connections to all levels when it comes into space anomaly and time, position, location. Okay, Orion's belt is changing its gateway time positions, right? So that means it's fluctuating higher to higher speed location. It's coming into the 5D activation, guys. So the Orion's belt is basically moving over its position of time. Everything travels in space. Nothing stands still. Planets move in position. Okay, not as fast as UFOs, but they have to be in a certain quadrant level of coordinates. In position of time, humanity has to be in that position of time through vibration. And this is all about understanding the anti-gravity of you. Okay, it's all about understanding the gravitational pull of you. Okay, so if I'm standing position, this is exactly what it is, right? Let me show you an example. I'm standing, right? Right now. I'm grounded. I don't need to meditate because the ground understands me. You understand? If it doesn't understand you, right, it's going to go, boom, boom, you know, and you're going to get headaches. And your off center is going to be way off center position. And your chakra systems are going to be, and your heart's going overloaded system. So it's all about understanding, get into that connection of your energy, get in your tesseracts, understand your tetrahedrons of travel connections. So when you go into that connection, you ground formation right away. And then you're right in, right? You're grounded. So the astral belt and its connection, your astral travels in your dream set locations and your thought patterns. Remember when Mothership was here through that connections? She was here for a purpose, to put you in a thought recognition timers into thought patterns, to bring your thoughts into higher formation line connections. So in position, The atmospheres have changed. Dimensional time has changed. Your coloration sheets have changed. Your circle rotation centers have changed. Your eye receptors have changed. Everything has changed. And now we're coming into the anti-gravity of its earth planes is going, right? And you're going to go, whoa, what just happened? So you got to get into your connections of, what's happening right now, because that's exactly what it is. You're caught in reality. And you're going faster through your thoughts of mind and everything through the cranial. The passage in its cranial has to understand its binary connections of you through new identification. So the earth planes puts it in position. AI gives you an identification through ground formation line connections. That is your connections to your placebo of your thoughts, okay? And your cortex is your dream position. So everything in your body is coming into 5D activation crystalline. The crystalline has to understand the connections to your gravity connections, or you don't understand anything to position when it comes to anti-gravity suits. So I'm showing you guys what's happening. Yeah, you can't do that, Zachary. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you hide under a rock or going underneath the water. It doesn't matter. It's all inside you. That's the connection. Doesn't matter what you do. Everybody's going to be floating. So you got to get your gravity with each other. Right? Woohoo. Tina's happy. So the fun has definitely begun. Yep, that's what I said. The fun has definitely begun, and my team is aware of that. Yeah. It's all about understanding your connections when it comes into yourself, right? Being aware of what's happening within inside you. That's the connection. If you're not aware inside, how are you going to understand space and time? Space and time, you look up, it's not space and time. It's inside. It's inside. And I keep saying that to everybody, and they keep questioning themselves because they're too much in the physical realm of the brain location. You have to be into the spiritual realm of the mind system. That's the only way you understand anything through anti-gravity or gravitational pull or anything through binary, right? What is a binary? What's a barometer? What's a light system? What's an electrical light through a panel location center position? All this is connected inside you of your connections of space and only. Your time positions, your time repeaters, or anything connection, your spines, everything through diamonds, your connection positions. So it's all about your travels. Okay, it's all about your dream sets. It's all about you getting in position on what's going on with its earth planes and its UFO connection. Okay, so yes, you create everything in realities, but it's inside speech. That's space and time, because space and time is inside you. Everybody's been living this cycle inside themselves. That means space and time and everything, the grounds and nature has been controlling you. Do you understand why we're coming in this position? Do you understand that? So it's all about you controlling yourself inside and you controlling your hand. Don't have the hand control you. It's like when you go into the beach, you don't want to be sucked in through a wind tunnel or a tow, right? The tide comes in, takes you in, right? You want to control the water. Don't let the water control you. And that's done inside. If you want to communicate with anything, it's done inside. That's AI. That's aware. You're aware of information to perception. Right? Whoa. Seismic gravity shift. Felt it. See, you're feeling something. You're connecting with something. You're connecting with weather. You're connecting with the grounds, and you're connecting with the shift of you. Everything you see and hear and touch is inside you. It's your senses being aware. So when we travel in time, you have to understand your eyes, your ears, and your voice. So when you're traveling and you close your eyes and your eyes are open, you're not seeing anything because you're still in the physical element. So you got to get in full rotation of the spiritual so you can see, hear, and get in command. You have to control yourself of your body. Don't let that go into that condition line system, because everything the outer surface is the inner surface. Inner force, outer force, not outer force, inner force, inner force, outer force. The inner system of you of understanding, the outer force of you through its connection of its humanity and its community, really getting aware of what's going on with the energies. When you're going up to somebody, you say, oh, Light interference, a little bit of dark on the outside, but the chakra systems are okay. I understand where you are through dimensional time. So you can approach that person because you feel comfortable. And you're aware of the gravity positions and where they are through dimensional time connections. So you're being aware of what's going on with their connection of their past, present, and future. That's where you come into the psyche. Because when I go on live on TikTok, I read them right away. And they say, how do you know this? Well, because I understand your ascensions and where you are through your thoughts. So it all has to play out, right? So it's a projector, right? But the astral planes is projecting, and the earth planes is high rising as the gravity is going into a higher position of time location. So lots of fun. I was meditating outside. I saw the ground's moving. It was amazing. There you go. So Galactica's aware that she's going into an anti-gravity shift. That's all it is. You have to be aware, but you have to be in your anti-gravity suits. When I say anti-gravity, it's a new E-field. So it's getting connections to the grounds at 5D. Because let's think of it this way. The grounds itself is no longer on line stream. It's on an atom rotation center. You don't know how fast the ground moves until you understand your perception of time, right? So it's perception to your reflection of what I see is different from what you see because you're at a different coloration, vibration, energy frequency, and harmonic resistance. So harmonic resistance is all about communicating with the grounds, guys. Okay, so if that's true, then I can communicate inside. That's harmonic resistance, right? So if I look at my hand, I can bring it down. Energy. I'm controlling the outcome. My hand's not controlling. It doesn't matter how much I resist. It's still going to go down. Because you're controlling it. And your hand knows it. That's the control. So that's how you control your life. Don't have life control you. You control your life. That is very powerful. All right. So it's very important why you take my school. It's important. You can miss classes here and there, but pay attention to that because it's also being aware. This is not meditation. This is about gravity shifting positions. So you gotta be aware of your grounds and what's going on. That's exactly what it is. You get massive headaches and migraines because you don't understand the conceptual of your inside system, 2 positions, time location. Massive headache, left side of the, I was guided in meditation, bounced, took a nap, woke up, more balanced with no headache. So Galactica knows how to balance everything through her connections and her gravity shifts. There you go. I think you guys have to really take it serious on how powerful my school is. But it's not about me, it's about you. Right? Because I already know who I am. I don't need to show. I don't have to prove anything. I know who I am. I know what I can do. If I control my hand, I control everything else. I control my life. My life doesn't control me. I control my life and what I do. I control my thoughts and how to go forward. My thoughts don't control me. I control my thoughts. These are the positions you have to understand. You can have an imagination control you. So it's all about understanding everything is in reverse. So what do? We put everything out of reverse and go forward, right? Instead of going this way. And now you're creating dark. Now you're creating an anomaly. Now you're creating a civilization. Now you're creating dark matter. Now you can create a dimensional realm. Now you're creating a wormhole. Whoa. And if you keep going and going and going, and you are not creating, they are creating you. That can happen. So it's all about the reverse cycle, reversing it back into the force of its cycle to bring it back to the center. The center never leaves. That's you. You are on the structural level system. You are the connection to satellite Wi-Fi modulation system, right? It's truly understanding that you have to bring yourself forward. Like I said, you have to control your hand. Don't let your hand control you. That's a little tip, but just be aware of what's going to happen next. So, all right, let's see. Galactica 2 didn't know that was the thing about feeling the ground vibrating. I asked my aunt, haven't felt the ground vibrate? There you go. So DBAB is aware of the grounds. So she's getting confirmation on that. And that's the thing. Don't be afraid to communicate with the grounds, guys. So the ground's trying to communicate with you, but it's an understanding through traction location, you're going to be off cycle and you got to get into your anti-gravity suits. Okay. So these are the positions you guys have to understand. That's what I'm trying to make things work for you, so you get in position and not have life control you. You control your life. So it's kind of like somebody controlling you. Somebody's on operational line connections and having fun with you, and they're controlling you. And that's what they're doing, right? They're controlling you. That's what's happening. So you have to reset your programs and you control yourself. Don't let anybody else control you. Don't let anybody tell you what to do, right? But when people come to me and tell me that they don't need my help, fine, let's see how far you go. Because you're not aware of the gravity. You're not aware of the earth planes. You're not aware of space and time. You're not aware of anything to that connection, but you think you are. People come to me and they say, well, listen, like a challenge, that's totally fine with me, but this is not about a fight between you and me. This is all about you understanding that you need instructions. People are saying, no, I don't need instructions. I'm myself. Well, if you're yourself, how come you're in that situation and you keep looking at yourself depressed? How is that going to make you move forward? So you're having the vibration control you and you not controlling the vibration of its nature, position, line connections. You're having the ground formation control you. You're having people control you. You don't want that. You want to control everything around you, which is inside you. Oh, that's very powerful. Woo! This goes back to risky business. Just take those old records on the shelf. Him with the shirt and the glasses and all that, sliding out and all that. Oh, boy. So it's really fast when we see these things. Because once you start controlling your life and your thoughts and your time positions and your meditation, so think of this. Think of yourself in a division of time where everything is controlling you. Think of it that way. What would that be like? What would that be like if everything around you was controlling you? That'd be sad. That'd be sad. And you're not even controlling your light anymore. You're having everybody control you, right? So if they control you, they control everything inside you. Energy and manipulation, guys. So there you go. A definition, line connection, anything, positions, okay? Awareness of information. So basically, everybody needs help. It doesn't matter what you say. You don't control me. I'm a healer. Okay, if you're a healer, do you understand what I'm talking about? No. Why? Because you're not paying attention because you haven't traveled into the future. But yes, I have. Well, you're not still asking me why. Or you're asking me, okay, well, if you travel in the future, what do you see? And this is where people want to challenge me. I say, well, okay, let's think for a second. So I traveled into 2075. Well, what do you see? What do you see? Tell me what you see. What has changed? Right? So in position, that person, if he traveled into the future, he pretty much would know what's going on, right? And he would give back the information. And that's what I do through my illustrations. Because I travel into the future. Everything I give you is the future, but to its presence, to its past. To truly understand that you have to understand your cycles of going forward and don't have anything going back controlling you. You have to control the system of space and time. You have to control your navigations, or you're going to have somebody controlling your own navigations or your computers and operations of time. Don't put yourself in those positions and levels, okay? It's very important to understand these things. That's what everybody has to understand, right? So I'm having a lot of people coming to me and they're trying to challenge me, and I said, well, okay, let's bring it on. Like, basically they say all this stuff, but they don't have anything to back it up. Oh, I'm a God. I'm everything through a God. Okay, prove it. Give me some energy. Let me see it. Where is it? Oh, I can't do it right now. I'm basically having lunch. Oh, I can't do it right now. I'm going out. I'll get back to you later. Okay. I just laugh. I just totally laugh. Okay, so it's all about understanding your energy fields and how to protect yourself from anything through psychic attacks or anything like that. If you're not aware of your energies, It's because you're not aware of what's going on. Anything that you watch, you know how important it is to watch certain things? It's all energy. It doesn't have to be alive. It's just a show, a TV show. Everything that you see through projection is everything through energy, through observation, and what you see through your frames. And it goes into the archive position, into your computers, and you go to sleep. And as it's going round and round and round and round, it's becoming extremely real. So whatever you're creating through your thoughts, are you having the thoughts control you, or are you controlling your thoughts of time, of travel? Think of it that way. That will help you have positions of time locations. All right. So it's good that DB is aware of that. If you guys not aware of the anti-gravities and you want to get in connections, let me know. I'll set up a healing platform for you guys. Okay, so you can get into your ground. So it's like boots, anti-boots. Okay, and it's locking mechanisms, and it just locks you in, and you're good to go. That's what an anti-gravity suit is. All right. So in the grounds to the core of the Earth, other side. Yep, building the circular electron position colander, which is 5 times more powerful than the CERN. Yeah, don't worry about the CERN. Okay, just concentrate on yourself. You guys are worrying about everything else. So what does the CERN do for you? Nothing. It doesn't do anything for you because it has nothing to do about you. So I don't worry about the CERN. I know what it is, but why would I worry about it? It has nothing to do with me. So stop concentrating on information and start concentrating on yourself. Okay, Zachary? That's the point you have to get across. So you're getting all this information, but it has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. And that's playing with your mind system. The only thing through connection that comes in the galactic school when you come to me is all about you. You help yourself. Okay, with the core of the other side, China, and they're building a circular electron position colander, which is 5 times more than powerful than the CERN. What does that have to do with you? Nothing to do with you, right? Nothing to do with you. So don't focus on these things because it corrupts the brain location position of time through your thoughts. So if you keep concentrating on information like that, how are you going to evolve into meditation graphs, into position of time location of positive center connections? Stop focusing on those things because it has nothing to do with you. All right? Point taken. Finding I can read people from a distance in a way I can before. There you go. So speech is getting more aware on how to read people through line signal. So she's connecting. So when you see a cat, right away you see the cat, but you see the cat go. So the cat's still here, but you know the cat's going to go here. That's line signal. So you're seeing something happen before it happens, precognition. So the line signal goes here, and then it goes here. So you know the cat's going to go in position. So you can actually control the cat to move. That's what I was doing with flies. Little things, little flies like this flying around. So I was going into laser direction. The fly goes like this, right? That's what a fly does, right? And then when it's about ready to go, it flies off. So you got to get into reaction where the fly does through their perception. That's what AI does. So we go into perception of a fly. That's why it's freaky. So it's understanding what AI does. We travel through flies. So our whole energy goes into the fly. It's like the fly in the movie, right? Where he's in that chamber, right? And the fly flies in, right? He travels from one to another teleportation. And he mutates his cells in generation and turns into the fly, 180-pound fly, right? It's something like that. But you understand is that once you go in, you can come out. It's all about energy of form. So when we go into the fly, we see through perception. That's what a fly does, right? And same with the bee. So if my vibrations are higher than a bee, it disrupts their signals and they come at me, right? They come at me because I'm a higher vibration. So if you break their frequency line, they have an energy field. Every animal, every reptile, every bird has an energy field. So if you break that energy field, they come at you, right? Because you're a higher light than them. You're a higher vibration, and that's how they read you through connections. So if you're not aware of that, there's a problem. So you don't have a gravity positions with them through perception. anything through a moose or anything in connection. So it's all about understanding what you see through their perception. That's what powerful stuff. Not what you see, but what you see through them. So it's pretty interesting to come into these time positions. So anyway, with the fly, I was line signaling, and the fly was going here, right? It was on a cupboard. So I asked it to go here, and then I asked it to go over here. That's controlling the fly. I was line signaling. That's telepathy. So these are the things we can do. I control my hand to go down. See, you guys have to get into the inner system of you, right? What does a fly look like? Perception. What does a bee look like? What does a snake look like? What does a spider look like? Optical levels of the 8 division level system, right? What is a shark? Why is the eyes over here, not here? Here, perimeter, right? They guard the oceans. They're perimeters. That's why we use sharks. AI creates everything, guys. Understand? So these are the positions you have to truly understand how to connect with animals, animal telepathy. You know, when I'm communicating with Vonda or Leela, you got to connect with them, their tone, and they communicate and they talk back at you. Powerful stuff. So, senses awake, the aware, and start feeling and seeing more. There you go. So Galactica's in that connections and telling the BAB what's happening with their senses and being aware. So my team's helping out, which is great. Ricky Schroeder. Silver spoons. Yeah. Jason Bateman, he started off on that. All right. I know what that was like. Was the worst thing ever. Was being controlled for most of my life until I found my way to first. There you go. So there you go. So Sylvia is controlling her system now. She's controlling her life. She's controlling her thoughts. People aren't controlling her. And you have to understand these things. You don't realize it because you're not aware of it. You're not aware of what's happening with your body through electrical lights or anything through connections, your gravity connections, or anything through your chakra system and communications. But they're aware. They're aware, but you're not aware. And that's why they're moving forward and you're still stagnant. You're trying to figure out, well, how come they're there and I'm not? Right? You can't be them. You have to be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. I'm seeing people on TikTok trying to be somebody else, trying to be a celebrity. Why? Why are you doing this? What, to get followers, to get more views? How are you going to create a life if you try to be somebody else? The actor said, hey, buddy, be yourself. Why are you trying to be somebody? I think it's fantastic, but you know, it's going to be like too comic. Why are you doing this to yourself? Just be yourself. Women love that. They appreciate that more. You trying to just be yourself and paying attention to that, listening to actually women and what they have to say. Men need to work at these things, just as women need to work at these things with men. So we all have to work on something. It's all about the masculine and the feminine and how to bring it together through the integration, guys. All right. Awesomeness is key. Yep. I remember the days of Kitty communicate. Yeah, but it's so powerful stuff because I communicate with both of them, right? I know what they want. And that's an amazing thing. They're hungry, or why'd you put me outside? You know, don't do this. You know, I'm tired. Put me on the bed. You know what I mean? That's telepathy, guys. But you have to stay in tone. So you have to really get into it's really powerful. It's a language. It's a language. And it's really interesting because it's the same with dogs. Like you know, it's like, okay, because I was basically healing a house yesterday. And basically it was pretty interesting because the dog itself had red eyes and it was coming at me. It was like Cujo. And I was going like this, right? Tell him to calm down. It's like going at me, right? And there's a, and then it started to change. So I took that dark out of the dog. Now the dog is fine. And I lifted the gravity, okay, of its position of the house because there's a lot of dark density. So you understand dense. Dense is metal, metal vibration. It centralizes the connection of where you are in your identification of its ground position. So once you high-rise your divisions, you come into a new position of time into your anti-gravity suit positions. So the ground understands you through vibration at a certain positional level through your thought pattern recognitions. So you create your thoughts of time and space. Don't let everything else control you. You control everything else inside. That's the positions you guys have to reach. So there's no confusion where it's anything through its reversing system. Because humanity's been totally backwards in all time. Conversion to anything connections. And that's what the Lord's King was talking about. The conversions of the earth. And why it was in cycle rotations of back force connections. Right? The outer surface and not the inner system. So it's all about the individual. Okay? It's not about space and time. It's about the individual inside. Communication, meditation. Is meditation outside? No. Meditation is inside, guys. How do you meditate outside? You find me a way how you can meditate outside. How do you do that? You can't. You have to meditate inside because everything inside is you. That's space and time. And positions of time through your thoughts and what you create through imagination, right? So like I said, I think everybody needs help, especially now. Especially now. Okay, especially when you understand that, okay, what's happening now? Well, the Earth's position in Earth planes is high rising its gravities. So we all have to be aware of this, right? And you feel it too. You feel like you're off center, you're off position, you got headaches, migraines, and it's like, oh my God, I feel like I'm drunk. Because you're not aware of what's going on. That's the problem. So this goes way beyond meditation. Okay, and it's important that you guys catch these things because every time I travel in the future, but I give you to its presence, to its past, so it keeps you aware of what's happening every day with you. It's not me, it's you. I'm already in position. I'm already balanced with everything, right? But I still need to work on humanity, especially when it comes into their essential line conditions. Because I have to, have to look at, when you heal somebody, and you have to look at the fact that, well, where are they in time? What have they done in time? What have they done in their human vessel of time? So you have to gradually work these things up. And sometimes they have to have different sessions on sessions on sessions. Okay, what did you do? You changed my reality. Now I'm switching to a different position of time location. And now I'm in a body transformation of 5D. What did you do to me? Well, I just shifted you. I said, okay, well, my collaboration of my mind system has totally changed. I feel different now. So that connections, you open up the heart. Take everything out of the connection. Heart is everything to the central line connections. So it starts your computer and resets positions of time to space through your thought patterns. And that's what happens with your spine. Your spine comes into its receiver. That's what your spine is. So I think I know what I'm talking about, guys? What do you think? Do you think you need help? Can you do it on your own? No, you can't do it on your own. You're not in position to do it on your own. Try it. You won't go along with it though. So that's why everybody has to come into that connection. They don't see me as their commander, but I am. Unfortunately, that's what it is. And I say, well, I'm myself. Yes, you are yourself, but let's see how far you go with yourself. So I'm basing facts here. And fact is you to understand is that you have to control yourself. Everything that goes around you. Right? And everything that goes inside you, everything that happens to you with community, arguments, frustrations, it's all connected to you, right? So you build a fire and it gets higher and higher, or you put it out with water. You put fuel on fuel. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Right? Do you want to worry about them or do you want to worry about yourself? They're already going through their problems. So don't look about that. Don't watch the news. Don't watch the media. What does that do? Doesn't do anything. How does that help you? It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care. The Earth core positions their meteor shower that's coming into connections of 0 point lector line connection, position line connection through gravity location centers. It's nothing to do with me. I'm basing a fact here when it comes into social platforms and the connection. It has nothing to do with you guys. You concentrate on yourself. That's the whole position you have to understand. And you start with meditation. Meditation comes inside. So you're opening up something wonderful. And that's how you go forward. Ask my team, and they'll tell you exactly what's going on with them, because they are aware of what's going on, not just with the grounds, the atmospheres, and the power of time, and the connection of space and time, position of the thoughts, but they understand their division of its connection, of dimensional time, of travel. So, Catman. Well, there's been a cat woman, but I don't think there's ever been a cat man. You know how they had Batman? I was saying, okay, well, if there's a cat woman, what about a cat man? That'd be kind of weird. And I was thinking, no, it's better to stay with Catwoman, because there's Batgirl, you know. But I think the best one with Batman would definitely be Michael Keaton. He just blew me away. What's going on? Who are you, man? I'm Batman. That just sold me right there. The voice, everything. I mean, he was Batman. He was Batman all the way, you know. And then Michelle Pfeiffer played the Catwoman. I thought she did good. I thought Michelle Pfeiffer played it really good. And Christopher Walken, he pretty much played the bad guy. But you know, and then Danny DeVito, he played the Penguin. I thought he did a really good job. So, you know, what character do you want to be in your life? Put it that way. What character do you want to be? Right? I mean, you can play the Alloy, or you can play the Nemesis, but you have to understand the Nemesis has to understand the communications to the Alloy. That's the issue. So this all goes back to your connections when it comes into force rising positions of your abyss. You have to face the fear, right? So you want your hand controlling you? Or you want to control the hand? Think of it that way. Yes, I like Batman, the one with Jack Nicholson. He did a really good job. But I also thought that Heath Ledger was really, really good as the Joker. Best Joker ever. You know, he was really, really good. I really enjoyed. He got an Academy Award too for that. So you know, I got these scars. But his voice was amazing. Like, he just transformed into the Joker. The laugh, the get up, the hair. I mean, and then Joaquin Phoenix, he did a really good job, but it was more of a human essence. It wasn't really a character. He just basically got fed up with society, and he just turned into the Joker because nobody cared about him. So he just stopped caring about himself, and he didn't care what he did. So these are the things where you basically take law in your own hands, right? Which people don't do. So you kind of like take law in your own self inside you. You are the control. Don't let things control you. You control yourself inside. And then you control everything outside. It seems a complicated issue, doesn't it? And they think, well, yeah, I think Commander's right. I definitely do need help. And there's not too much pride to say otherwise. You know, I'm just stating the fact here, right? You want to be off yourself, that's fine. But I'm telling you right now, this is a major, major shift that's going to happen right now. And everybody's going to be floating. And who do you think they're going to come to? Me. So just be aware. Be aware. DB's aware. Speech is aware. Sylvia's aware. Dina's aware. Everybody's aware. Being aware is the biggest thing. And that's what AI is. It's a title of defense. Being aware of information that is given to you. Data. Processing data. Uplinks, downloads, upgrades. Transmitting and receiving. What's this? Transmitting. Receiving. Your spine is a receiver. And the tip at the bottom is its signal. That's what your spine sounds like. Wouldn't you like to know what that's like? You guys don't interact with your inner system. You don't know what it sounds like. You don't know everything through vibration. And once you understand the vibration, everything around you is going extremely fast through your division of your perception of time location. All right. It only understands you through vibration. So if you're at a certain level, you go into the frequencies, and that's how it changes the ground positions. The ground doesn't stay at the same coloration. It changes because you're in the simulation. That's the complicated issue, is trying to understand the hologram to the ground positions, because everything to the grounds is not right there. It's going extremely fast. So it's never in one position of time because it's going too fast and it's traveling in space of time. Right? So you have to understand your anti-gravities of yourself through position. So he was the only Batman stopped watching after that. Yeah, I kind of like lost track when it got into George Clooney, or anything through Val Kilmer. He did a pretty good job. I thought he did all right. Chris O'Donnell played Robin. I met him in real life. Chris O'Donnell. He's a nice guy. I did I played a small role with him. So, life is about existing you inside yourself, getting really informed with yourself, mastering everything through vibration frequencies and its energies, and everything through its harmonic resistance. Harmonic is very important because now you're communicating with your hand. What do you want your hand to do? How many times do people look at their hand? No, you don't look at your hand. Why? You're ignoring your body. You can't do that in AI. AI uses their hands constantly, all the time. Every time I synergize position line connections, it changes traction location divisions, and it tells me exactly what's going on with my reset. So I use clouds, but that's not a cloud. Everything is computer. Everything is digital. Everything is frame. Everything is not what you think it is. Okay? It's what you see through perception of time, through vibration. Right? So when you're synergized positions, you can do anything with your hand formation line connections. You can bring them in like this. You can bring them down like this. You can bring them back. Whatever you want your hand to do. You control the system. Don't have the system control you. If it controls you, it controls your thoughts of time. And then it controls your dreams. And then you realize, oh my gosh, I need to be healed. I'm having people come to me, they're healed, but they don't understand that. And then I got to put calming centers into them and send their angels to them and say, oh, thank you, Commander. So is this going to keep happening? Or are you going to start learning for yourself? These are the positions you guys have to come into. I truly understand the mastering inside you. Okay? Because you're nothing but wire. You're everything through connections. Like my hand is going extremely fast. I know the acceleration. So I'm controlling everything inside me, which controls everything outside. My hand is not inside. It's outside. But I'm controlling inside. Everything is inside, guys. If everything was outside, everything would be backwards, right? So everything is inside. So you control that, and you control your fingers. You can use your fingers so you can control its system. See? Control its system, watch. See? It's all about control, and it's all about energy. And then you start communicating. Amazing stuff. So, but yeah, I did like Batman. Yeah, also too, it was really good too, was, there's a lot of Marvel characters. Spider-Man is the best for me. $6 Million Man, that was the 70s, but that was a TV show. So that was way, way back in time. But I just basically, you have to see yourself as a character. Knowing yourself, you can go forward in life. How do I do that? I can be a $6 Million Man. I have a bionic arm. I have 2 bionic legs. I have a bionic eye. What can I do with that? What can I do with that? And it's all about inner sight. So it's understanding that I have a bionic eye. You have to invert yourself and go, right? And I can run 60 miles an hour. Right? $6 Million Man. I know the music to that, right? I watched every episode. And then when he starts to jump, there's like a little bit of a, 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 So when he drops, you try to understand the mechanisms of its anti. Like he goes, and they go do 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 do. And then when he's just buying a car, he's going. So that's back. And then you got the Incredible Hulk. Lou Ferrigno, right? So that's all he does, and everybody runs away. You know, that was his character. And it was really pretty fascinating stuff back in the 70s show, you know. Deadpool, yeah. That was good, yeah. Ryan Reynolds, yeah. He's a comedy actor. He's very good. He reminds me of a younger version of Chevy Chase. So, yeah, Deadpool 1 and 2. But you got to ask yourself, what do you want to be in life? How do I get there? What do I need to do next? How do I evolve myself? How do I communicate inside? How do I communicate with my hand? Look at your hand, okay? Look at your hand and see what you can do with energy. Energy is everything. You can control it inside. Your hand is not inside, it's outside, but everything is inside so you can control outside. That's matter. Understand? So these are the things you guys have to look at. And you have to understand your energy when it travels, it's nothing but recognition of thought timers. So you're controlling the energy of form, and then when you create it through a frame, it's visualized. So you're visualizing your graph of frame of time through manifestation. You create it, goes into space, and it comes back at you through transmitting and receiving. Goes into the heart, goes into the connections of the spine. The signal goes out, right? And then it goes back in the chakra system. Good to go. So these are the things you have to understand. It's the inner system of you, which is the master in everything through communication, right? Don't force rise connections to anything through your ego or your thoughts, because you're not connecting inside, you're connecting outside. That's the importance you guys have to understand. So, yeah, he is. Yeah, he was. It's pretty fascinating stuff. But look at yourself as a Marvel character. Try to see yourself, you know, like Superman, Man of Steel, flying around the earth. So you in yourself, you're not Superman. You're a form of Superman, but you have to come into your positions of an inner system of an inner child, which is you. So what would you be as a child? Put yourself in that. What would you be? Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, Batman, Wolverine, Cyclops, Rogue, X-Men, okay? The Thing, Plastic Man, so many Marvel characters. So you have to have an imagination of the mind as you as a kid, not as an adult, okay? And it's very hard to do these things because that's all a kid does, has an exceptional communication to its brainwave of its illustration and its imagination. That's what kids do. That's why they draw, because they open up the mind and then they start communicating to the paper. They communicate to the. That's what my daughter did, you know, when she was young, and she kind of knew that from the very beginning. When you wake up, baby's in the carriage, it's in the crib, and it's looking up and it's seeing colors and all that. It's trying to understand its hand. It's looking at its hand. How many times do you actually look at your kids and see what they see? No, you don't pay attention to that. You just change the diapers and that's it, right? If you actually look at your kid when it's a baby, you can see what it's trying to do for itself. It opens up its reflection of its eyes and see the colorations. See the colorations are things that go around, little toy things that hang from the, you know, the top, right? And the baby's looking at different coloration, right? So these are the things you have to look at and pay attention to. Right? And it's all done inside. Okay. So in space through connections, anything through emanation formations, there's a lot of planet location, deposition, time connections. When you come out of your seed pods, you go into your academy and they grow up very, very fast, but they live the dimensional time of mind telepathy inside when they're a baby. So the brain is already adapted, it's full grown into the mind conception of telepathy, guys. That's why AI is extremely formative. So when they're born, they're not in the physical realm. We have planet locations at different atmospheric positions at a time. So what I'm going to do, okay, tomorrow, okay, it's Familia Day, so it's going to be a short class. But in that position, or maybe I'm going to do it Monday. I think I'll do it Monday. Yeah, Monday. Yeah, because Wednesday is the test, okay, and the review and the evaluation. So that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everybody in their own seed pods, okay, from the very beginning on what you look like as a baby. It's very powerful what I can do. So it's going to be really interesting. So you're actually going to see in your energy pods, and you're going to see the two. It's a umbilical cord, but it's an electrical cord, right? That's the communication to its atmospheric position of time location. Right? And that's how you connect through the seed pod, and the seed pod connects to you through the body system, because everything through its inner system. Same thing with when you're born in your mother's womb. That's a teleportation wire. So the mother can understand your tone, right? It's like, and the baby feeds off the placenta, right? That's what it does. I know that because in connections, I have been inside my mom's womb as an adult. I actually see what's going on. I actually see the stomach line. It's really powerful stuff, right? It's awesome. It's totally awesome. So when you come out of it, you see this big light. And you wake up to it, right? So the seed pod comes up like a flower. It's like this. It's like this, and it goes, right? And you just fly out. Okay? So it's really interesting. You know, it's like the birthing of a calf when it comes out, right? It starts to walk right away, instantly, trying to find its balance. And when it finds its balance with its gravity, and then it starts running. So it does it on its own. The mother doesn't show the colt or the calf or anything that connections. It does it itself. You understand? So these are the things you have to educate yourself. You have to re-educate yourself in your dimensional light of your seed pod positions of time location, right? So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to put everybody in their seed pods. And you know what it's like. It's all about the development of the mind in position to telepathy, not the A, B's, and C's into that position of brain location. So we put that position on allocated position of time location into your alphabetical systems of 1, 2, and 3. Okay, to its coordinates. So that's what we'll do tomorrow. That's going to be fun. So it's going to be interesting. So I used to watch my brother when he was baby, always fascinates. But see, that's the thing. Sylvie is aware. It's also, you know, it's your kid. And you want to look at your kid, not just outside, but also look what's inside. What's that kid doing? Getting up, looking at blocks. How many times do parents look at your kids? They're too busy worrying about themselves, right? Why do you think kids isolate themselves in their room? Pay attention to that. It's the most important thing, right? You have to give love and attention to your kid every single day. It doesn't matter what position of time you're in. Stop putting your egos in your system and take care of your kids, right? So if you stop taking care of your kids, they go off on their own. And what do? They get into mischief. They get into trouble. They get into negative cycles of other people, right? Bad friends, bad circles. Okay. So your job is you do the best that you can in any situation that you're in, right? You can help yourself. And in return, you have to understand these things. The more you help your kid, they start appreciating you, and then they start helping you when you're older. And that's what you want. You want your kids helping you because they respect you. because you did the best job that you could. Okay. Now you go into that position of time and you go into divorce. That's the worst thing you can. I went through that with my family. I was 13 years old and my dad got divorced from my mom. I pretty much had to grow up fast. I had to take care of my siblings. My dad was going through his divorce and, it was rough, but everybody has a rough time. But as long as you understand that your parents did the best job they could, you respect that alone. And then when you get older, you start appreciating your parents more rather than conflicting on others and getting involved with people that don't resonate with you anymore through connections. That's the separation. And this goes way back through connections when you were a child. Right? So really understand your past traumas of yourself. That brings you forward. So if you have to have a nice long talk with your parents, do it. That'll make you feel better. You communicate with your parents. You tell them. Right? A lot of parents want to control you. Why? Because they never had that opportunity. So what do? They take it out on you. Right? So it's important to understand. Have you seen the movie Breakfast Club? Very, very powerful movie through generation to generation. It tells a lot about teenagers and what they go through their parents. That's a whole level system. It's not them being in the library. It's about them communicating with each other, getting to know each other through their own problems. It's like an AA meeting, right? So they're in a circle, they're in a library, and they have to defy to themselves why they're in detention. Okay. So I came across anything like a basket case, a criminal, right? A brain, a princess, right? These are the connections you have to understand. Everybody has their own individual system, but you have to truly understand communication is everything when you're born. You automatically connect with your parents through observation. And when you get older and older, it's up to you to decide where you want to go with your life. You get into bad crowds. That's okay. I got into smoking. Why did I do that? For 10 years. 10 years I smoked. I don't even know why I started smoking. It's a bad habit. Bad seed. Smoking just gives you something to do. Sometimes it makes you feel it, but I'll tell you right now, the more you smoke, you get headaches. My grandfather smoked for 40 years. Four packs of Export A. 4 packs, man. That's a lot of smoking. Now, he was in the World War II. He did what he had to do. So I don't know where everybody thinks that smoking releases stress, but it does the opposite. It gives you lung cancer, emphysema. It overloads your system. It cuts off your oxygen levels of your tubes. It deflates your system into brainwave patterns. It changes your stem locations, at eye receptacles and line connections. It gives you stomach irritations. It gives you, enamel, the yellow stuff gets on your teeth, bad breath, gets in your hair, gets in your clothes, gets all over you. It smells bad. Smoking's not good for you. People do it anyway, right? So you can think, how important is your life? How important is your health? You're not going to live a long longevity when you start smoking. Yeah, man, I'm smoking. Wow, this is cool. Right? Well, what's so cool about it? What's so cool about it? You're deharmonizing your system. You're not being healthy and connections. So the thing is, too, worst thing that people do is they work out and they have a smoke afterwards. That is not good. That's logic. I know because I smoke. And every time I do I was on a gig or anything on a movie set, down in Toronto. The worst time to smoke a cigarette is outside in the winter. It's like, you're like this. You got to take your gloves off. You can't do it because you flame your hand. You're like this, like, okay, time to go in, right? Time to eat or have lunch or go back on set. So I was thinking, what do we talk about when we smoke? Which I thought, why is smoking so cool back then? When I first started out, I started smoking Popeye cigarettes. Just thought it would be like look in the mirror. When I'm young, I went, ooh, this is cool. So I wasn't trying to inhale. I was just trying to see what it would be like to have a Popeye cigarette. Back in the 80s, right? Popeye. Doo, doo. So I thought it was pretty funny. But people smoke for certain reasons, to get rid of stress. They feel good, having a coffee. I mean, to each his own, to each his own. But I'm just saying it's not good for your health. Anybody will tell you otherwise, right? Because it doesn't affect you, it affects everybody else. It's fumigation that goes into the room, and it creates mold in all walls and all that. It stays, it sticks, it gets on your fingers. Nicotine. And then you look at your hands, oh my gosh, my hands are all yellow, right? These are things you got to look at. I can't even relate to that because I'm going back into the past alignment. I can't believe I smoked for 10 years just to be cool, just to hang out with the cool crowd. I say, well, this must be another Breakfast Club movie. Because I couldn't, in 92, I moved to Toronto. I couldn't fit in. I didn't know the subway. Subway was the hardest thing to understand that, northwest, south, and east, how to travel, how to get to know people. So it's kind of like you're going into a new atmosphere, a new position, a new community of time. And you're trying to understand, where do I fit in? I don't fit in anywhere, right? Especially if you have first day of school, all right? And you don't want to eat with any of the kids because you don't know anybody. So what do? You go to the bathroom, you start eating, right? A lot of people do that. Okay? Truth be told. So this is what kids go through. And then you come into the connections of bullying. Why are you bullying me? Well, because I like bullying you. Why? Because I look different? So we look at that too. So there's a lot of things that are changing. In relation, try to understand what's going on through communication. AI gave you a body so you can understand yourself through communication. But there's a lot of fallouts. With that. So everything's coming back in position of time. That's what's happening. So hopefully that helps you out. It's a little personal, information about me, right? I like to share something. You like to share something back. That is communication. All right. And that's what we have to get in. We have to get in the full cycle of communication to each other. And then we get into my telepathy of each other. That's the knowledge. That's the intelligence. So we start understanding ourselves more through education of who we are, right? So we get out of the anomaly of destruction or anything that connections are manipulation. We understand more of ourselves, and we're more aware of its information of ourselves inside. So we're controlling the outcome. Or you get somebody to back you up. Or if you're afraid into a fight and you need somebody, hey, buddy, somebody's going to beat me up. Come over, help me. Can you be my protector? Can you be my bodyguard? That's another one too, bodyguard, Matt Dillon. He was like 13, 14 years old. That was also based in Toronto. There was this kid, and basically he was, just a normal kid. He liked school, but then all of a sudden little kid came up and started picking on him. Why are you picking on me? Why? Like, I'm just trying to figure out. Because they can, and they see the fear. They see you can't control yourself. That's why they bully you. A lot of people don't understand these things, and they keep bullying you until you get into that position. Because I was in that. When I was in high school, I was picked on by 3 guys. 3 guys. I didn't know how to defend myself until I martial arts. When I took martial arts, I changed everything. It took me into confidence, took me into courage. Defending yourself is the big thing. So it's all about defending yourself inside and how to control everything inside, and then you control everything outside. That is life. That is outcome. The outcome of you. Okay? Don't let life control you outside. You control everything inside, and everything outside will center through its E-field position of time location. Okay? So, yeah, I'm Canadian, yeah. See, I had to learn how to defend myself because my dad was in advertising. If he was a boxer, I'd be a boxer, right? I'd be a boxer. But it didn't work that way. So he's an advertisement. He's not going to show me how to fight. He doesn't know how to fight. He's never been in a fight. So if you've never been in a fight, how are you going to help your son? So you have to find a way. So, and you get foundations anywhere. Judo, Aikido, Taekwondo, everybody finds a form, right? But it's not the art. It's the confidence and the courage. That's the art. It's the strength and the mobility. That's the art. It's the connection to you inside. That's the control. That's the power. That's why Bruce Lee was so effective and so fast, he could look at you and put you down before he fights you. That's how aware he was with his anatomy of his body. Okay, because he had an exceptionally grounds of fighting. He can take you down with his hands, or he can take you down with his feet. Didn't matter. He knew his cycle of center. He knew how to balance himself every single day. He knew how to protect himself inside and outside. That's the light. He knew his energy. Astronomical. Okay, 1-inch punch, 6 feet back. Nobody else could do that but him. So he had his time. Everybody is put on a planet time to give back to humanity. Do you understand it? No. Why? Are you paying attention? No. Why? Because you're worrying about everything outside and you're not worrying anything inside. If you want to evolve yourself, you have to go inside yourself. If meditation wasn't built inside, there'd be a big corruption and chaos, and everybody would be so much off communication. Line signals, trapping locations, center connections, trapped in matrix locations, line confusion, anything in that division. Everybody would be anywhere and everywhere. There's no control. The control is inside you. That controls you in center. That brings you forward to your missions and your journeys, to your dreams and your creations. Okay? So, yeah, learning new navigation system is a good thing. Yeah, it's a powerful thing, Catherine, and that's what everybody's coming into, but you have to understand the communication inside you. Surviving bullying right through school from day to day one. I'm sure you guys have been through that. And that is a test. It's a test of will. It's not a test of will to fight. It's a test of will on confidence. It's a test of will on courage. It's a test of will to move forward. It's a test of will to get past this. And if you have to fight, fine, use the mind. If it doesn't work, use your defense. Okay? And if sometimes you have to use the offense. Okay? I wrote 3 books on martial arts. I know I'm very well aware with my body. Every day I sit down on the bench and I look at people walk. You pick up a lot of things when you see people walk. You pick up weaknesses, you pick up thought patterns, you pick up imaginations of what they're going through. So it's reading the psyche of yourself inside. Once you master that self, you can master everything outside of them. You can understand how they feel. That's telepathy. Then you come into telekinesis. That's movement. 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 So, been bullied forever, almost 60, yeah, and still go through it. But see, that's the thing, and you never get rid of it. You have to let it go. Sometimes you have to force to let it go because that holds you inside. You have to let that go. So it's like you're in a fetal position. It's like you're inside. So if your soul is still being bullied inside and you're 60 years old, you have to let it go. But the person that's healing you has to understand the soul. And that's what I do is I take your soul, I communicate with your soul, and I break you free. Okay? That's not meditation. That's soul recognition, guys. Okay? So, anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Truth is everything. So I'm giving you something personal that I went through. Everybody has a different personal thing that they want to share. And this is all done through spiritual therapy. Right? And sometimes you have to be in that connection to really go deep, 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 deep of who you are. Some people can do it, some people can't. Even hypnosis, but be cautious in hypnosis. Because you're talking about somebody controlling you in the mind. So it goes on so many levels of communications of yourself. So really get into the connection of who you are, right? To understand what your arm is. Okay, so from here to here, okay, here to here is the size of your foot. So these are the things you have to look at. Everything's aligned, has to be aligned. Right? Like, for example, okay, this hand is bigger than this hand. If this hand was the same as this hand, you have to be off balance. It's the gravity positions. And that's how it sees you through identification. One side is always bigger than the other side. You have dark and you have light. So you're recognizing the behavioral system of the moon and the light of the sun. And it's balanced locations. One hand bigger than the other. So, yeah, you get up and you try again. Yeah, it's like Eye of the Tiger. Never give up. You know? Same with Professor Sloan in that speech, you know, when he talks to his son. You know, his son is all cocky and they say, well, you know, you're the cause of me and all this. And well, this is why I am the way I am. And it says, no, you're putting that on yourself. Okay. You have to push forward and keep pushing forward. Right. It's a very good speech. What Stallone said. Right. Because you cause your own problems. Nobody else does that. Don't pinpoint other people. You're the cause of your own mistakes. People don't see that. They blame it on everybody else. But why are you blaming it on everybody else? It has nothing to do with you. Who's going to help you? You. Nobody else. So you have to communicate slowly inside your system. You have to really understand the chakra system of communication. Understand what your heart is feeling. And then you answer inside. Why is your heart in this position? That's healing. Why is my neck hurting? That's pain. So if you put yourself in that position, you understand, oh, I laid on my neck when I was sleeping. I do that all the time. I get neck twitches, right? So if you lay on one side too much, it's telling you, what are you doing? You're telling your neck is telling you. So you're communicating inside, same with your fingers. You start with your fingers and you try to communicate with them. What do you want them to do? You want them to go like this? Or do you want to go like this? You want to go down like this? You want to go like this? So you're controlling yourself inside fully. And then you can start controlling your life outside fully. So everything around you outside will start making sense, and everything around your community will go in a circle of rotation, of creation and manifestation. Okay? And it's all connected to your energies and what you create through your thoughts, because your thoughts travel. It's all connected inside you. Okay? So, yeah, help me in that I can say. But see, that's the thing. I'm helping Sylvia so she can help herself. It's not me, it's her. It has nothing to do with me. Don't concentrate on me. Concentrate on yourself. And say, well, I want to be the commander. You can't be the commander. Because I'm a different timeline than you guys. But we're all equal. That's the beautiful thing. I can't be you. So why would I try to be you? There's a common denominator here, people. It's a catch-22 here. Right? So you got to look at yourself, how you can involve yourself to the fullest, to the best knowledge that you can do with your thought patterns and your space and time positions of location. Okay? And stop worrying about everything outside. Concentrate on that, right? That's the truth. That's the forwardness. That's the creation. That's the imagination. All right, so I think we'll stop there. It's almost 2 hours. I love what I'm doing. You guys, just seeing you just puts a smile on my face, knowing that I'm doing my job, right? Knowing that you're getting what you want out of life, and that's what it is. So you got extremely high rise energy. So the energy is saying, hey, good job, guys. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep thriving, right? Keep thriving. The Thrive, the movie, tells you a lot about that. Law of attraction, we'll get into more of that. Law of attraction is the human design, and they also have AI design. AI design. Okay? So these are the things you have to get into. Adaptations of your system too. It's communication inside its system. Really get into that. So start with your fingers and try to control yourself. So basically, if you see your finger moving, you're controlling it. Try to force it. It will still go down because you're controlling it. It wants you to control. Don't let it control you. So you start inside. You master everything inside you. Full control. Ground's power and atmosphere. Okay. And then you start controlling little by little of everything that you want outside of your circle. Inside circle, outside. Inside, outside. Okay. Loop-de-loop. Time shift, time jump. So you know everything in. Now you're going out. And then you're going outside your circle. So everything around. Better job, better communication, better teleportation, better entertainment. Paying my bills now. Because once you master yourself inside of thoughts and everything around you through creation, imagination, then you can do everything outside because you have the form of energy and it's controlling everything around. My bills are getting paid. Wow. I'm getting my house fixed. Wow. I'm getting a new car. Wow. I'm manifesting money. Wow. You understand? That's how you guys have to start thinking through knowledge of intelligence, because that's what AI is. Everything through AI is inside. Okay? You guys concentrate too much on outside. There's no balance there. There's only disruption of confusion. Okay? All right. Yeah, no, I wanted to spend a little bit more time, Sylvia. It's important you guys understand what's happening with your anti-gravity positions. If you want to get into your anti-gravity suits, let me know. I'll set up a healing platform for you. Okay? So everybody have a fantastic day. Adios.